Hello and welcome into another LEETCODE challenge. Let's try to solve another one together. Today it will be an easy one, valid parentheses. Given a string S containing just the characters, parentheses left, right, curly braces left, right, square brackets left, right. Determine if the input string is valid. An input string is valid if open brackets must be closed by the same type of brackets. Open brackets must be closed in the correct order. Every closed bracket has a corresponding open bracket of the same type. Input, parentheses, true, parentheses, square brackets, curly brackets, true. Example third, different type of brackets, false. Okay, let's think about it for a moment, and we will see one of the possible solutions after a short break. Alright, so we are in the LEETCODE console. I will be using JavaScript, but you can use many other languages as well. So the idea here is that we will for sure utilize a array, which will be a queue for us, and we need to also know what parentheses are go like in pairs. So let's firstly instantiate a map object, and in this map object we will write the pairs. So closing parentheses has this opening one as a character. Curly, the square brackets are like this, and the curly braces are like this. This map will make more sense once we code all of that. Let's also instantiate a stack, which will be a blank array at the beginning, and the thing we need to do is go through each individual element of the string. So let's do for character of S string, and then we need to firstly check if it's the closing parentheses or opened one. So let's do if current char is on the other way. Let's do if it exists in the map. So we will do map char. If we will do such conditional, then we will know if it's the closing ones. And if there are the closing ones, then firstly we need to check the stack. So we need to check if stack length, that we already have something in the stack, because if the stack is empty and we have the closing parentheses, we don't have anything to close, because if the stack is empty there is no open parentheses. So let's negate it. So if it will be 0, it will change to true value, and this conditional will work, and we will return false, because we need to return false, because as I mentioned, we are trying to close the parentheses or brackets and we don't have anything on the stack. If it will be good, let's instantiate the last element value, and let's pop the last element from the stack. It will take the last element which we encountered, so last opening of the parentheses or brackets, and it will remove it from the array and return it to us as the last element. And then let's check if this last element is different than the current mapping. Because if we right now, let's say, got from the last element closing parentheses, but our current char would be, let's say, a bracket, then it would turn out that the closing, let's say we want to close curly braces that we want to close the parentheses, but the last opening was the curly braces. So that's why we are doing this check here, and if this check fails, and if this check doesn't work, we also need to return false here, because let's say we are trying to close the parentheses, but we opened the brackets lately. So this will do for that, and we will also need to account for the solution that we are not trying to close any brackets, but we are trying to open a new one. So if we are opening a new one, we need to do a stack push of character so that we are pushing another opening to the stack. After all of this being done and for the whole for loop went through, we need to try to check the stack, because if something went wrong in anywhere here, we will return false, so that's we are dealing with. But we also need to check if after going through all of that, we have still something in the stack. Because if the stack is empty, we are sure that we closed all the openings. But if something will be left in the stack, then we know that we didn't close everything, and we need to also return false. So let's code that, and let's return stack.length equals to 0. If it will equal 0, we will return true, and we have everything okay. So let's try to run it and see where we are. Okay, those are accepted. Let's do a full solution. All right, we're good. So that's my solution to this problem, and I hope that it works also for you. See you next time.